morning. Thank you for joining us on Talk About Fraud. My name is Denise Chicella. I'm the president of Auspicium. Auspicium hosts a fraud roundup page, if you will, about fraud schemes, fraud controls, fraud detection, and anything else fraud related. Today's video, we're going to talk about catfishing, a very serious fraud out there and one that is growing in popularity. So stay tuned, get comfortable, and we'll be with you in a minute. So, catfishing. What is it? Let's say one night you're strolling Facebook, checking out what everyone has to say for the day, jotting down your posts, looking through Marketplace, and out of the right-hand corner comes a message. John Smith wants to become a friend. You search back in your memory bank going, I don't know a John Smith. You look at his picture, hey, he's kind of cute. You see that you have one or two mutual friends. You don't look at the rest of his profile, but you think, what harm can come from it? So you accept John Smith's invitation to become friends. So you and John start chatting. And he's charming. I mean, he's what you've been looking for in a mate. And you start to develop this relationship. You come home at the end of each night, you log on to Facebook so you can tell John about your day. Even if it's a bad day. Because John always knows the right things to say. He tells you you're beautiful. He tells you he appreciates you. But you have noticed one thing about John. He's got this Facebook profile, but he never really posts anything. He's changed his pictures a couple times, but that's about it. There's no other activity out there. But you figure, okay, he's shy. He doesn't like to write. So, hey, I could keep him for myself. We got this relationship going. You may have become a victim of what we call catfishing. Catfishing is when you form a usually romantic relationship online, but the person's intents are not necessarily of a romantic interest. He is looking to make you a victim of fraud. You're going to realize in this relationship that things are progressing awful quick. You ask him to meet up. He can't meet up. You ask him to come visit. He's got a reason not to come visit. You ask to join him on a Zoom call so you can see what he's really, really like. He doesn't have access to Zoom. He will come up with excuse after excuse after excuse and want to keep this relationship solely on social media chat. You ask him, he might tell you that he did something this week, and it's usually something pretty exotic. And you're like, oh my God, that sounds fantastic. Can you send me a picture of what you did? Didn't bring a camera with me. I actually left my cell phone in the car. Can you believe how stupid I was? And there's never any other pictures to share. And one day you're looking at John's picture and you're going, you know what? I think I recognize him from somewhere. So you take the picture, you log on to Google, you go to Google Reverse Photo, you put John's picture there. Google comes back, does its thinking thing, and comes back, and you find out that John Smith, who you're building this relationship for, has a picture out there that belongs to a pro football player. It's not really John Smith. He has stolen someone else's picture to entice you into this relationship. Well, okay, what's the harm in that? So maybe he doesn't feel confident in the way he looks, so he borrowed someone else's persona. Well, the fraud's going to perpetrate from there and get a bit worse. He may ask you for money. Hey, you know what? I want to come to the States, but I have to apply for a visa. Visas cost $750, and I just don't have that kind of funds available right now. Can you send me a check or a money order for $750 so I can send it to immigration, get my visa, and then we can finally meet? And I'll pay you back as soon as I get there. I'm good for it. I have that kind of wealth. I just don't have that immediate access to cash. So perhaps you could help me out so that we can finally meet up in person. And that finally meet up in person is John casting a hook into the water to catch you, the catfishee, into his little lure. He knows you've been dying to meet him. So he's going to entice you by telling you, you send the money, I'll catch it. So what else does John have up his sleeve? He asked you for money. He may ask you for certain favors. Hey, I'm coming out to my high school reunion in like 12 weeks, and there's a bunch of stuff I want to get from Amazon because it's so much cheaper in the States. Can I mail it to your address? You don't see the harm in that, so you say sure. Well, what John's actually mailing to you may be stolen goods, illegal goods, drug contraband, other items that he doesn't want sent directly to him. Now, here's how he furthers this crime. He says, okay, I'll be out there in 8 weeks for the high school reunion. I can't wait to finally meet you. Week 6, you tell him you've gotten all the goods that he sent. Great, keep him in a corner. I'll be there in 2 weeks, and as soon as I'm there, I could pick him up from you, and I could take him home on my way back. Cool, no problem. They're here waiting for you. Week 7.5, John calls and goes, you know what? I can't make the reunion. My kid is sick, or my mother's sick, or some wild reason why he can't come. I'll tell you what, though. A friend of mine is coming out to see me in about 2 weeks. Would you mind terribly packing up all that stuff I had sent to you and mail it to this guy? Okay? Well, this guy, his friend, was the person he originally wanted to send the goods to. But he wanted to hide his footprints. So chances are the goods are, like I said, stolen, or they contain something illegal to ship. What John is hoping is that if customs should stop those goods, or if law enforcement wants to question it, and it comes back to who the origin is, it comes back to you. You have just helped John perpetrate a crime. You can be held criminally responsible. Chances are, if you're a catfish victim and you can explain that and prove that, you may be off the hook, but that's no guarantee. So if you have become a victim of catfishing, first thing I want to tell you is don't feel embarrassed. Many people will. They'll think, how can I have fallen for this? I'm smarter than this. I can't be this naive. You are not alone. They estimate that there are about 850,000 fake profiles on Facebook. Generally, these profiles are for luring you in as a victim of catfishing. So be careful. You may be embarrassed because you spoke up about John's coming to visit. I can't wait to meet him. I'm going to meet him at the airport, yada, yada, yada. And then when he doesn't show, and people say, hey, what happened to John? And you come up with either John's excuse or one of your own, people are going to think there is no John Smith. You were just making it up. You're just stringing us along. How gullible do you think I am? Listen, you're the victim of a crime. You never asked to be a victim, but that's exactly what you are. Who can you contact? Federal Trade Commission might be one, if it was for the pass-through of stolen goods. It may be for the pass-through of money, in which case you become part of a money laundering chain. By all means, talk to your local police, talk to your local FBI, or talk to the Postal Service. They will help you investigate this. They will possibly help you recover any monetary losses. Again, there's no guarantee. So, again, don't be embarrassed. Know that you are not alone. It does happen to other people. And you know what? Last thing you can do, check us out on Talk About Fraud, where we will talk about other crimes out there. The more aware you are about crimes, the less your chances of being a victim. I'm sorry you were a victim this time, but come learn more from us, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.